old Grey John, when the stars were gone, in a mighty aeroplane, flew a boy in search of fame, far across the bounding main. Like a bird on high, to do or die on his journey over there. Many million hearts beat for him, and the whole world said a prayer. Oh, Lindbergh, oh, what a flying boy was he. Lindbergh, his name will live in history. Over the ocean he flew all alone, gambling with fate and with dangers unknown. Others may make that trip across the sea upon some future day. But take your hat off to plucky Lindbergh, the eagle of the USA.
How'd you get in here? Courtroom's not open to spectators yet.
Oh, come on, fella. Give me a break. I got my pass from the Hunterdon County Democrat, but you know all those hot shots out of New York are going to get first choice on the good seats. How's a fella like me to get noticed if I can't make a break happen for myself? Look, tell you what. You let me stay here now, and I'll put your name in my article. Or maybe better yet, I can get a picture of you near Hauptmann or Lindy later. Hey, wouldn't that be a great souvenir for your family? A picture of you next to the world's biggest celebrities, right in the paper. What do you say, pal?
Well, I don't know. The judge is pretty tight on what goes on around here. He's real antsy about all you press people.
Look, I'll be real quiet. I don't even have my camera with me. No one will know I'm here except my editor, and he'll be real happy to hear about your cooperation.
Well, I guess my wife would like to see my picture in the paper some. I suppose it won't do no harm. But you stay low and don't let on it was me. Let you in early. Anyway, I guess they're about ready to start. I've seen him bringing Hauptmann up from his cell. He's a real dandy, ain't he?
Yeah, it takes a swell picture. I bet a good-looking guy like that is getting a mail from women all over the country, eh?
Well, you're right about that. Of course, he gets letters and money from all kinds of folks. I heard tell from the postmaster that people sending in letters they want sent back on the last day of the trial. They want the postmark for the day the verdict is announced. I guess Flemington will never be the same after all this.
Well, you're right about that. They're already calling this the trial of the century, and it hasn't even started yet. All those thousands of people out there really know this is history happening right on their front porch. That's why they come from all over. There's not a word that's going to be said here that won't be heard. And all those telephone and telegraph wires they got coming out of the attic are going to be carrying up to 2 million words a day for as long as the trial lasts.
Well, that may be. But I still can't help feeling real sorry for Lindy and his missus. I hope people will remember they lost a son, and we'll show them some kindness when they testify today.
Lindy and the missus are going to testify today?
Well, I heard Mr. Valent saying he's going to finish picking a jury real fast, and he expected to finish his opening so Mrs. Lindbergh could be heard today. I ain't sure about Lindy, unless Mr. Riley's cross-examination is short. They say this whole business has been real hard on Mrs. Lindbergh. She may not come back to the trial after they're done with her. Now look. Don't let her not talk to you here.
I won't, thanks.
Prisoner. All rise. Oh yes, oh yes, oh yes. All manner of persons having business with this Superior Court of New Jersey on this second day of January in the year of our Lord 1935, let them draw nigh, give their attention, and they shall be heard. Judge Thomas Trenchard presiding.
Be seated. I have to say a word, I'm sorry to say now, to the constables. From the viewpoint of the court, it is very important that you see to it that members of this panel refrain from reading newspapers during the trial, and that they refrain from listening to the radio during the trial, and that they refrain from attending public assemblages of any type or character, more particularly where public utterances of one kind or another are to be made. Now, of course, I realize this is a hardship, and I'm very sorry to have to say it, but it must be done. You will be provided with the best possible attendance for your comfort over at the hotel, and you will be permitted to go about during periods when the court is not in session, to walk on the street, to get your exercise, get the air. You will do this at your convenience, but always accompanied by constables. That is all I have to say. I think we are ready to proceed.
May it please your honor, Mr. Foreman, men and women of the jury, a grand jury that was composed of citizens of this county has returned an indictment charging that Charles A. Lindbergh Jr. was murdered. It is the law, men and women, as will be pointed out to you by this court, that where the death of anyone ensues in the commission of a burglary, that killing is murder. Murder in the first degree. Now, on the first day of March, 1932, the state will prove to you that a very distinguished citizen of this country was a resident of Hunterdon County. And on that date, the household, the Lindbergh household, consisted of Betty Yao, Mr. and Mrs. Whately, Colonel Charles A. Lindbergh, his wife, and their only an infant son, who was 20 months of age, I believe, 20 months old or young. The child was a happy, normal, jovial, delightful little tot that age, blue-eyed, curly-headed, blonde-haired. He had been playing around that entire day with the family. And on the night of March 1st, 1932, that child was killed. And the state will prove to you, men and women, that the man who killed and murdered that child sits in this very courtroom. The gentleman in the custody of the sheriff's guard. Now, men and women, if we do not prove these facts to you, why, you acquit him. You acquit him. If we do not prove them to you, you acquit him. But if we do, as we are confident that we will be able to, and as we expect to, well, let me just tell you, representing the state of New Jersey, that this state will not compromise with murder or murderers. We demand the penalty of murder in the first degree. Thank you.
If Your Honor, please, I move now for a mistrial on the impassioned appeal of the Attorney General, not being a proper opening, but merely a summation, and a desire to inflame the minds of the jury against this defendant before the trial starts.
That motion is denied.
Well, I ask now most respectfully, sir, that you charge the jury at this time that the opening of the Attorney General is merely what he intends to prove, that their minds are not to be prejudiced at this time, and that they are to keep their minds free and open until the last word of this case.
Well, I suppose the jury already understands that. Of course, the purpose of an opening is to tell the jury what the evidence will show. The jury, of course, will keep an open mind until the very last word is said in this courtroom. You may call your first witness.
If Your Honor, please, the state would like to call Mrs. Ann Morrow Lindbergh to the stand.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give the court and jury in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your full name.
Anne Morrow Lindbergh.
Please be seated.
Mrs. Lindbergh, you were the wife of Charles Lindbergh.
I am.
And where do you reside, madam?
My legal residence is in East Amwell Township, Hunterdon County. I have been living in Englewood, New Jersey.
When you say East Amwell Township in Hunterdon County, you mean the home which you occupied in March of 1932?
I do.
Now, specifically referring to March 1st, 1932, you were then living in and occupying that home in Hunterdon County, were you not?
I was.
And would you please tell us then on the first day of March 1932 about the household?
The occupants of the household?
Yes.
I was there myself and my son, Charles A. Lindbergh, Jr., Mrs. Elsie Whately, her husband Oliver Whately, and later in the afternoon, Betty Gow.
So that the household on that date consisted of yourself and also Colonel Lindbergh in the evening?
Yes, in the evening.
And Mr. and Mrs. Whately and Betty Gow and your infant son.
Yes.
How old was he?
20 months.
He was born in June 1931.
June 22nd, 1930.
Now, referring specifically to that Tuesday. You were there all day,
All day, yes, sir.
and your son was there all day.
Yes, he was.
Now, during the afternoon, as I understand it, you stated that you were with the child, and that the child was playing around. Would you tell us about the child, about his playfulness that day? Was he a normal child?
He was perfectly normal.
Healthy?
He was very healthy.
Playful?
He was a great deal better than he had been the preceding 2 or 3 days when he had had a cold, a slight cold.
Was he able to talk yet?
He talked.
Would you tell us, please, what was the color of his hair?
It was light golden.
Was it curly?
It was curly.
And the color of his eyes, please?
Blue.
I show you a picture and ask you if that is a picture of the child?
It is.
I offer it in evidence.
No objection, it will be marked.
There just seems to be so much noise, I just cannot think.
Let us all try to be as quiet as possible.
Mrs. Lindbergh, when did you leave the nursery and where did you go?
I stayed in the nursery until the baby was in his bed. He had been dressed, he had been given medicine, he had been rubbed with some kind of grease.
Vicks Vapor Rub?
Yes, for his cold. And he had been placed in his bed.
And about what time was that?
About 7:30.
Would you tell us then if you were there when the child was put to bed?
He was in his bed when I left.
Who dressed him for bed?
Miss Gow and I.
Would you tell us then about that, please?
What he wore?
Yes, ma'am.
He had next to his skin a homemade flannel shirt which Miss Gow had cut out and sewed that evening out of a flannel petticoat which I'd had for him since he was an infant.
Mrs. Lindbergh, I want to exhibit to you a piece of clothing that I have and ask you whether or not you can tell what that is.
That is the flannel shirt cut out of the flannel petticoat.
Is that the flannel shirt that your son, Charles A. Lindbergh, Jr., had on that night when he was put in his crib on March 1st, 1932?
It is.
I offer it in evidence.
No objection.
It will be marked.
What else did the child wear that evening as bedclothes?
He had diapers fastened to the small shirt, to the second shirt, and on top of that, a sleeping suit, a wool sleeping suit.
Did you buy that sleeping suit yourself?
I did.
I show you what purports to be a sleeping suit, a number 2 Dr. Denton, and ask you whether or not you recognize that sleeping suit.
I do.
And what sleeping suit is that, Mrs. Lindbergh?
That is the sleeping suit that was put on my child the night of March 1st,
1932?
1932.
And it is the sleeping suit then that your son wore that night as he went to bed?
It is.
I offer it in evidence.
If there is no objection, it will be admitted.
Now, I take it that the last time, I withdraw that. Now, on the night of March 1st, 1932, after you say your child dressed for sleeping with these articles, and leave the bedroom, the nursery.
I left the bedroom and went down into the living room.
Mm-hmm. And about what time was that, if you recall?
About 7:30.
Were you also suffering from a cold that day and that evening?
I had caught the cold from the baby. After my husband left, I rang the bell for Mrs. Whately, and when she came, asked her for a glass of hot lemonade to take before going to bed. I then drew a bath for myself.
Did Mrs. Whately bring the lemonade?
She did not bring it. She went down to fix it, and after I'd finished my bath, Miss Gow came in to me through the hallway door and asked me if my husband had the baby. And I sent her downstairs. I then went into the baby's room through the connecting passage. This was after 10 o'clock, shortly after 10. I went into the baby's room through the connecting passage, looked hastily at the bed, found it to be empty. Went back into my room, where I met my husband and Miss Gow. My husband went over to the closet to take out a rifle, and we all three went back into the baby's bedroom and searched it. I was still in the baby's bedroom when Mrs. Whately came up the stairs. I went with her back into my own bedroom, got dressed, and we began to search the house.
You haven't seen that child since the first day of March, 1932, have you?
No.
May we have just 1 minute, if Your Honor, please?
What's that?
May we have just 1 minute, if Your Honor, please?
Certainly.
Take the witness.
Are you through, Mr. Willens?
Yes, sir.
The defense feels that the grief of Mrs. Lindbergh requires no cross-examination.
Nothing further, Mr. Attorney General.
That is all. Thank you, Mrs. Lindbergh.
And that was the scene here in Flemington, New Jersey, as Mrs. Anne Morrow Lindbergh, courageous wife of Colonel Charles Lindbergh, fought back tears to tell of the abduction of her 20-month-old child, Charles Lindbergh, Jr. There was not a dry eye in the courtroom, and even Hauptmann's chief lawyer, Edward Riley, was too moved to cross-examine Mrs. Lindbergh. As we have promised you, we will be transmitting live throughout the trial from atop the Hunterdon County Courthouse. The trial of Bruno Richard Hauptmann is expected to last about a month, and we will be here for every part of it. Following Mrs. Lindbergh's dramatic testimony, the state called to the stand the man who has become the hero of the world. The long-awaited appearance of Lindy began shortly after he exchanged a comforting word with his dear wife. Everyone knows of his efforts to ransom his kidnapped son and his close ties to the investigation of the heinous crime. What fireworks will his confrontation with the Bull of Brooklyn set off as he meets with Hauptmann's sharp lawyer? His testimony is expected to conclude on the third day of the trial. For WNEW, this is Martin Block.
Your witness.
Colonel, do you prefer to rest for a minute?
No.
Or continue right along?
Thank you very much.
Are you a peace officer of the state?
Sir?
Are you a peace officer of this state?
No, I am not.
Are you armed, Colonel?
Oh, just a minute, if Your Honor, please. I object to that question. There's no basis for this question. There's no meaning for it. There's no materiality to it.
I have no objection to answering.
Well, the colonel appears to desire to answer the question. He may answer it.
No, I am not.
Do you recall, Colonel, whether or not there was a road on some of the property you purchased you had to close off, a wood road?
Close off? I do not believe we closed any road on the property.
Did the people there that had access to and fro and across your estate have the same access after you built your place?
Why, as far as I know, they did. I requested in one particular instance that the neighbors have the same access.
And did you hear of any hostility to you in the neighborhood prior to the kidnapping?
No.
When did you first occupy the house, Colonel?
We first lived there in the fall, or early winter of 1931.
And when it came time for you to furnish your house with servants, Colonel, where did you obtain your butler from?
Well, we already had obtained a Mr. and Mrs. Whately when we were living at Princeton, or near Princeton. And they moved over to Hopewell when the house was constructed, over to the house in East Downwell.
And from what agency did you get the Whateleys, if you recall?
Oh, I object to that as being not at all material. If Your Honor, please.
It is very material in this case, the background of everybody in that house that night.
Yeah, I don't believe that is the fact at all. If Your Honor, please.
I see no objection to answering the immediate question.
I don't recall the name of the agency. I recall talking to Mr. and Mrs. Whately at the time in my office.
And were they engaged before Betty Gow?
Yes.
And did they come from the same agency Miss Gow came from?
I don't believe that Miss Gow came from an agency. She was recommended to us by one of the people at the Morrow home in Inglewood who had known her.
What I'm getting at, Colonel, is this. What investigation of Whately did you make before you hired him as your butler to take into your home?
I talked to him.
Beyond that, did you go any further?
Beyond that, I never go any further.
You didn't know anything about his background?
I think that may have been looked into. Personally, I simply talked to Mr. and Mrs. Whately for a half an hour, or an hour.
And he is one of the parties that since this kidnapping has died?
Yes, he died.
And how long after the kidnapping did he die?
The winter of 1932, or 33, he was stricken with peritonitis. He was in the house in East Downwell.
Now, the next person in the house on the night of the kidnapping was Miss Gow?
Yes.
You say you obtained her services from somebody that you knew in the neighborhood.
She was recommended to us by one of the people who was working at Inglewood in the Morrow home.
And did you make any effort to learn her background?
I don't know. That may have been done. I personally only talked to her. Mrs. Lindbergh may have looked into her background.
But you didn't?
No, except to talk to her.
Well, did you know she had two brothers?
No.
Well, did you ever know she had two brothers?
I haven't paid very much attention to that. It seems to me I have heard she had one or two brothers since then.
Well, since then you had learned she has a brother who was in trouble in the state of New Jersey.
No.
Well, did you know she had a brother in Canada?
I am not sure she has a brother at all.
Well, did you make any effort to find out if she had a brother?
No.
Now, on this particular weekend, you decided to stay in Hopewell on Monday, is that correct?
My wife and my son stayed in Hopewell on Monday, and I went to New York.
Wasn't it unusual for the family to stay there on a Monday?
They stayed there because the baby had a cold.
Well, now, how many people knew that the baby had a cold and that the baby would stay in Hopewell on Monday?
I don't believe that we knew that ourselves Monday morning, as I recall now.
But your movements were in the knowledge of your butler and the butler's wife and your nursemaid, is that correct?
Not completely, no. Miss Gow was in Inglewood on that Monday, and she did not know until my wife called her. I believe, Tuesday.
Well, did anybody know outside of your wife that you were going to be staying Monday in Inglewood?
I didn't know that myself until late that evening.
Well, how did you communicate with your wife that you would not be home on Monday night?
I believe that I called her that evening by phone.
And did you talk to the butler?
He might have answered the phone. I mean, I don't remember that.
But he would know that you were not coming home on Monday after you talked to your wife, wouldn't he?
He probably would. I can't say definitely, but I think probably.
And Mrs. Whately would very likely know. She was the cook, wasn't she?
It is quite probable.
But the outside world would not know that you were coming home on Monday night, would they, Colonel?
Very few people would know that.
Yes, and very few people would know that you were going back to New York on Tuesday, would they, Colonel?
Very few people know what I do.
Yes, so that a person in the outside world or a gang in the outside world on Tuesday, March the 1st would have no idea as to where you were, would they?
Well, that depends upon their organization.
It wouldn't depend on any information you gave, would it, Colonel?
Well, not with knowledge.
Colonel, were you in the Morrow home shortly before the suicide of Violet Sharp?
Yes,
And had she been questioned by the state police before then?
I understand she had.
Did you know that she and the butler had been very friendly?
No, but being in the home, I suppose that is probably true.
Well, did you know that they were friendly outside of the home?
No, but I would be surprised if they were.
Well, did you suspect Violet Sharp of having any connection with this case?
I did not.
Well, is it not a fact that she had been questioned by the state police, that they subsequently came back to ask her more questions, and that she went upstairs upon hearing them being announced to her and committed suicide?
She committed suicide. I do not know whether it was prior to being questioned or not.
Now, one of the servants in the Morrow home was Johnson?
No.
And later identified as Red Johnson?
No.
Or was he a visitor there, as far as you know, in the servants' quarters?
I understand he had visited.
Do you know if he had been friendly with Violet Sharp to the extent of taking her out?
No, I don't know that.
Well, you do know, however, that he was apprehended by United States authorities, do you not, because he was illegally in this country?
That is my understanding.
And you do know that that warrant was withdrawn, do you not, by orders of Washington, and that he was allowed to leave here voluntarily and is now somewhere in Denmark or Sweden?
Well, I understood that he went abroad. I did not know, or I do not recall being told, that the order for his deportation was ever withdrawn.
Mr. Attorney General, I finish with your witness.
You are finished, sir. Thank you.
Oh, is that reporter preparing to take a picture? Are you going to take a picture here, now?
Well, during recess, yes, sir.
Well, I must ask you not to do that. This is practically a session of the court, and we shall have to do without pictures.
Well, Lindy didn't exactly shake up this courtroom like everyone expected. I thought he'd really get angry when he faced Hauptmann, but he sure kept his head.
Well, you know, he's been in charge of the operation ever since the night of the crime. You know, he's had over 2 years to prepare for today. Besides, anyone who can fly solo across the Atlantic has got to be one cool customer.
Well, I hear Colonel Schwarzkopf and the New Jersey State Police had to run their investigation with Lindbergh looking over their shoulders all the time. Must have been pretty tough for a new police force working on their first major case.
I suppose so. And they had to deal with the G-men, the New York cops, and even those gangsters who claimed they could get the baby back when this whole thing started.
So what do you think Riley's defense is going to be?
I think it's pretty much what we expected. He seems to be focusing on the household staff. He was rather rough on that housekeeper, Mrs. Whately, but he's going to have a much tougher time with the baby's nursemaid, Betty Gow. I hear she's one real tough cookie. It's going to be interesting to see just how far he can push her.
On this, the third day of the trial, the great aviator himself was the focal point of the events unfolding in what used to be a quiet rural county in western New Jersey. In his relentless cross-examination, Mr. Riley seemed to reveal some of his defense strategy by questioning Lindy about his household servants. Of particular interest seemed to be the relationship of Betty Gow, the former nursemaid of the Lindberghs, and Red Johnson, whose name has occasionally been raised in connection with the investigations. Now, before signing off for this evening, let's look at what's in store for tomorrow, January 7th, in this new year of 1935. Mr. Willants will continue his examination of the Lindbergh household staff. Today, he questioned Elsie Whately, who worked for the Lindberghs with her husband before his death last year. Tomorrow, we should be hearing from Betty Gow, the nursemaid to Charles Lindbergh, Jr., who discovered him missing on that night in March, over 2 years ago. I'll be here, along with the hundreds of other reporters and radio people, to bring you every detail of this trial.
Your witness.
Miss Gow, do you prefer to rest for a minute?
No, I am all right.
When did you first enter employment of any kind?
At the age of 14.
Where?
With the firm. It was a cooperative society in Glasgow.
And did you ever work in London?
No.
Well, when did you first come to this country?
On May 4th, 1929.
On a quota?
Yes.
And under what name did you enter?
Bessie Mowat Galway.
Did you ever work in the Morrow home?
No, I never have with the Morrows.
Did you secure a position with Colonel Lindbergh through a linguist agency?
No, I did not.
How did you secure the position with Colonel Lindbergh's family?
Through the recommendation of a lady's maid in the employ of Mrs. Morrow.
How many brothers have you, Miss Gow?
I have two brothers,
And what are their names?
Alexander and James,
And where is Alexander now?
in Glasgow, Scotland.
And where is James?
In Glasgow, Scotland.
And when did they return to Scotland?
They have never been out of Scotland.
They never been in this country before.
No.
You say you secured this position with Colonel Lindbergh when the child was about 8 months old?
Yes.
And had you been a baby's nurse before that?
I had not taken care of small children. That is, I had taken care of a child 2.5 years old.
Now, where did you first meet this Mr. Johnson?
In Maine, North Haven.
North Haven.
Yes.
And was he known as Red Johnson?
His name was Henry Johnson. I believe his friends did call him Red Johnson.
Well, then you and this Mr. Johnson started to go around quite a lot, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
Now, in the course of your evening's entertainment, did you visit many places in and around Englewood?
Yes.
Met many people?
No, very few people.
Where would you go when you would go out with this Mr. Johnson?
As I recall, the movies.
Did you ever go to a roadhouse?
No. As a matter of fact, I don't remember. We would stop in a little cafe for coffee. We went skating.
Did you ever go to Palisades Park with him?
I believe once.
And was there any difficulty there that night?
No, I don't recall anything, no.
Recall any conversation with a police officer the night you were in Palisades with Mr. Johnson?
At Palisades Amusement Park?
Yes.
No.
Where is Red Johnson now?
Mr. Johnson is now in Norway.
And have you communicated with him?
Not recently.
How recently?
About 6 months ago.
Well, now, when the baby did not return on Monday, February 29th, did you think that that was unusual?
I had a call from Mrs. Lindbergh. She told me.
Well, is it correct then that the first message to the Morrow estate from Mrs. Lindbergh to anybody was to you that she was not coming back?
As I know it, yes.
And did you tell any of the help that she was not coming back?
Probably I did.
Well, now, what members of the establishment did you tell that Mrs. Lindbergh was not coming back with the baby?
I cannot recall, no.
Well, did you tell Red Johnson?
I believe so.
Why did you tell Red Johnson Mrs. Lindbergh and the baby were not coming back?
I cannot recall exactly telling him, but I probably would in conversation.
Well, he didn't work on the estate, did he?
But I saw him that night, that evening.
You saw him that Monday evening?
Yes.
And you were out with him that Monday evening?
Yes.
And where did you go with him?
I just don't recall. Riding, I believe.
You were supposed to be very fond of the baby, weren't you?
I was very fond of the baby.
And did you volunteer to go down and take care of that baby on Monday?
Mrs. Lindbergh, it was her habit to take care of him, and she didn't ask me.
And because she didn't ask you, you didn't volunteer.
No.
But you went out Monday night with Mr. Johnson.
I did.
And you told Mr. Johnson that Mrs. Lindbergh and the baby were not coming back. Is that correct?
I just don't recall if I told Mr. Johnson that.
Well, did you tell anybody else that?
I probably did.
Why?
For no reason. In the house, I mean, I suppose it was a natural thing for anyone to ask me why the baby wasn't coming back. And I would reply that he had a slight cold and that Mrs. Lindbergh was bringing him back.
But you told no tradespeople, did you?
No.
And you told no outsiders?
No.
And you told no strangers?
No.
And you did not tell this defendant, did you?
I did not.
Now, you certainly knew, did you not, that when Mrs. Lindbergh recalled you to the Hopewell home to take care of the sick child, that you were not going to be able to keep any appointments with Mr. Johnson. Is that correct?
I did know that.
He was available in Englewood?
He was.
Why didn't you phone him then?
I did call the house. He wasn't home. I left a message where he would find me, that I had gone down to Hopewell.
Well, you had been out with him the night before. What was the great importance of the second night?
Oh, well, now, I object.
Question withdrawn. Was there any importance to the second night?
Yes. He was going to leave for Hartford the following morning.
Going to leave for Hartford Wednesday morning?
Yes.
He told you that?
Yes, he had planned to do that.
And I suppose you wanted to say goodbye to him, didn't you?
Yes.
On Tuesday night, is that it?
Yes, that is correct.
Now, when you arrived on the afternoon of March the 1st, was the child suffering from a cold?
When I saw him in the afternoon, he seemed to have gotten over it pretty well.
And yet you, supposed to be devoted, as you told us, to this child, put the child into the crib after rubbing it, after putting on the Vicks, after putting on the extra shirt, after giving it a physic, put it in there shortly after 8 o'clock, and did not go back to see that child again until 10. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That is what you did.
That is what I did.
Now, most of the windows in Mrs. Whately's room, they face in the same direction as the windows in the nursery, out to the fields?
Yes.
Now, in all the time that evening that you were in that room with Mrs. Whately, was there an electric light that was put on and off?
Yes.
It was put on and off.
In Mrs. Whately's room, yes.
So that anybody out in the fields having any knowledge of that house would know that that was Mr. and Mrs. Whately's room.
If they had studied it, yes.
Well, now, in all the times that you had visited that house on weekends and other times, you never saw any strangers roaming through that house, did you?
I did not.
Did you ever know the Whateleys in England?
I did not.
You didn't know anything about them until you took this position and happened to be thrown by reason of your position in this country. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Now, the child was well acquainted with Mr. Whately?
Yes, I believe so.
He played in the kitchen?
Yes.
In fact, he had a pet name for him, didn't he?
I don't recall that.
Well, he called Mrs. Whately Elsie.
Yes.
What did he call you?
Betty.
This child was not accustomed to strangers, was it?
No, not strangers.
Never came in contact with strangers.
No.
This child was reared in a little select circle, if I may be correct in saying, of his lovely mother, his distinguished father, yourself, the Whateleys, and maybe his grandmother and his aunt.
Yes. Members of the family.
Thank you, Miss Gow.
You've been listening to Martin Block and the Make Believe Ballroom, coming to you from the top of the beautiful Union Hotel in Flemington, New Jersey. As we enter day 6 of the trial of the century, the long-awaited appearance of JAFC, that is Dr. John F. Condon, will begin this morning. As most of the world already knows, it was Dr. Condon who acted as an intermediary between Lindy and the kidnapper in paying off the $50,000 ransom for baby Lindbergh. As the Lawn Eagle's companion, JAFC met the kidnapper twice in cemeteries and ultimately accompanied Lindy in his fruitless search for the child, while following the phony directions given them by the kidnapper. The feisty professor is sure to be a worthy adversary for the wily defense attorney, Edward Riley, and his team of lawyers.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give the court and jury in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your full name.
John F. Condon.
Please be seated.
How old are you, Doctor?
74 years of age on the 1st of last June.
And during those 74 years, where have you lived?
In the most beautiful borough in the world.
But what place is
I
it?
ask that be stricken
The
out.
Bronx.
I decline to strike it out.
It is purely a matter of opinion whether the Bronx is the most beautiful borough in the world.
Yes, I think it is a matter of opinion. But I will let it stand.
Well, I think Flemington is.
Well, the Bronx is a part of Greater New York, isn't it, Doctor?
Yes, sir.
So you mean then that you have lived your entire life in the city of New York,
Yes, sir.
and particularly in the Bronx?
Yes, sir.
Now, yesterday afternoon, while we were discussing your title of doctor, well, you are called doctor, aren't you?
Righteously, yes, sir.
All right, sir. So that the name with which you are known, doctor, is not only that, but that you also hold the degree of doctor, right?
I have the title, the degree, and the diploma at stake.
When was it that you retired as a teacher?
I retired, my application I put in on the day that I turned 70, which is the law. I didn't want to take a penny from the city of New York I wasn't entitled to. I sent my application to the superintendent, and he asked that I please remain longer.
Well, at any rate, did you retire then, sir?
I retired honorably and with full credentials.
And when was that, Dr. Condon?
Instead of June 1930, correct that, would you please?
Yes, sir.
I was kept until October 1932.
Who was the man that you spoke to between those cemetery gates?
John, as given to me by himself.
And who is John?
John is Bruno Richard Hauptmann.
All right, sir. Now, what did Mr. Hauptmann say to you there, just 3 feet away from you, with the gates between you?
He said to me, "Did you got it, the money?" And I
Yes, what did you say,
I
sir?
said I couldn't give him the money until I saw the package.
And what happened then? Did you talk there?
We talked then for more than 1 hour, yeah.
Tell us, as best you can remember, what you said to him and what he said to you.
Well, I said to him, "I'm square with you." He said, "Oh, no, it's too dangerous. Might be 20 years or burn. Would I burn if the baby is dead?" Now, I said, "Well, no, not if you had no part in it."
Go ahead, doctor.
Well, I said, "There are a number of lawyers in my family, and if it's within the law, I will get him to go with you to the last degree. But if you fail me, I will follow you to Australia." I guess I was a little vehement in the matter, but that is what I said. And he said, "Oh, no. We won't. You will get that baby, and you can put it in his mother's arms." And that's what I was out for.
Then what happened?
Well, I said, "Leave them. Come with us." And he said, "Oh, no. The leader would smack me up." I said, "Leave them. You will be caught." And he said, "Oh, no. We were prepared a year before. We were prepared to do this."
Yes, and what else did he say?
And he said, "Only you will get this baby, and you can put its arms around Mrs. Lindbergh's neck." And I believed him.
Who said that to you?
John.
Yes, and then what?
I said, "This is so important. What will you do?" He said, "I will send you the baby's sleeping suit. I must go." And that had been after we talked like that for an hour and 10, 15 minutes, as nearly as I can remember. And we shook hands and we parted. I didn't go there to catch him. I wanted to get the baby back. I didn't care about catching him.
Well, at any rate, he left you then.
He did.
Now, Dr. Condon, after you had dealt with John, and of course that child hadn't been returned.
Yes, sir.
And eventually the body was found.
Yes, sir.
I take it that you were questioned by the police.
Yes, sir.
And did you give a description of John?
I did.
Tell me, please, give me a description of John as you saw him at Woodlawn Cemeteries and St. Raymond Cemeteries. Well, about his size and everything else.
He was about 5 foot 9.5 inches tall, and his complexion is what I would call light, and his hair was, should I use the term I used?
Oh, whatever term you use.
A muddy blonde.
A muddy blonde?
Yes.
So that this description that you give us now was the observations that you made of him at the time, is that right?
That's right.
And did you give those descriptions and observations to the authorities long before Hauptmann was ever arrested?
Nearly 2 years before.
Thank you. That's all.
Almost 2 years.
You may inquire, sir.
Doctor, how long have you been in this business of training athletes?
50 years.
And what is a lightweight?
A lightweight? Well, the numbers given to me were 135 pounds from the time of Jack Farrell.
Oh, that's quite a ways back, is it not, Doctor?
Yes, sir.
And what is a welterweight?
A welterweight? Well, a welterweight had 142 and went from 142 pounds to 148.
And what am I, a heavyweight?
You? Heavyweight, huh? Yeah, may I see?
Oh, sure.
Don't hurt you, does it?
Oh, no, not a particle.
Undoubtedly a heavyweight.
And I take it you yourself are a heavyweight?
Now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we start even.
That's right. That is physically.
Proceed as quietly as possible.
You are not angry at me, are you, Doctor?
Not a particle.
And when did you arrive in Trenton? The day before yesterday?
Yes, sir.
And where had you come from?
From Brockton, Mass. and Rockland, where I lectured.
And did you lecture in Brockton?
No, I mentioned Rockland last, and in English we take the second noun, which brings on that relationship, sir.
Well, now, irrespective of the lecture in English, will you please tell me the city that you were last in before you arrived in Trenton?
Well, I stopped at every city between Brockton and this place.
And were you traveling by automobile?
Yes, sir.
Remember being in Taunton?
Beg pardon?
Do you remember being in a town called Taunton?
Yes, sir.
did.
And did you drop in a drugstore there?
Yes, sir.
And did you have a conversation with the druggist?
I did.
And did you tell him at that time that you had not yet discovered John?
No, sir.
And did you say to the druggist at that time, they haven't caught John yet, I'd give $10,000 to find him?
Finished?
Yes.
No such thing.
You make sometimes extravagant remarks, don't you, Doctor?
No, sir.
You're always cautious about what you say?
I am.
You are enjoying your day in the sun here, aren't you, Doctor?
What does it mean? He'll have to speak English if he talks to me. What does it mean?
You are enjoying your day here before all these people. The first day that you ever testified. You are enjoying yourself, aren't you?
No. It makes me feel sad.
Why do they call you Jafsy?
I'll tell you, it's the simplest thing in the whole world. Men in the Secret Service, gentlemen in the Department of Justice who know these things, told me the word Jafsy might get me through it and Condon wouldn't. Well, I'm not ashamed of Condon, but my initials are JFC. And if you repeat them pretty fast, you'll find they form the word Jafsy. Would you do that?
Yes, Jafsy.
Thank you.
Now, let me say the other names that come to my mind. You said that the kidnapper's name was John?
Yes, sir.
Well, that is your name too, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, now, let me go back again, please. Now, of all the big metropolitan dailies, you didn't bother with any of them, did you?
No, sir.
And yet you put your letter, or your appeal, in the Bronx Home News?
I did.
Yes, correct?
That's right.
Yes, and didn't you do that because you knew that the kidnapping band were waiting for your letter in that paper?
No, sir.
And yet within 24 hours after it was published in that little paper, you received a letter from Williamsburg, Brooklyn, dated March the 8th.
I'd like to see that. I don't remember that it came from Williamsburg.
I take it that you appreciated that everybody in that house, with the exception of Colonel and Mrs. Lindbergh, were under suspicion.
No, sir.
You didn't gather anything from reading the papers?
No, sir.
You didn't gather anything at all?
I gathered no such thing, nor would I entertain it.
Well, of course, you had never read in all your vast experience of English butlers not being honest, did you?
Oh, I object to that, if Your Honor, please.
He said he had never entertained any suspicion. I have a right to ask that question.
Let me make my objection, please. I object to that question, if Your Honor, please. Because it is not material in this case, and in the second place, because it's not the fact.
It is very material at this point to follow up this question.
I think it is an improper reflection, anyway.
Oh.
Well, I am minded to allow the doctor to answer the singular question.
Thank you.
Would you repeat the question, please?
I've never heard that honesty applied to any nationality.
Will you answer my question? Have you read or heard in all your experience of English butlers not being honest?
I have not.
I've finished with your witness.
Riley's really going to push the notion that Whately and Gow are in on it. Do you believe that's possible?
I don't know. We haven't heard Walence's case yet, but I think he's ready for Riley's tactics.
Well, so far, all he's done is prove a crime was committed. He's got to start tying Hauptmann into it pretty soon, or we won't have much to write about.
Hey, give the guy a chance. You don't think the state attorney general is going to go out on a limb without having something strong to go on, do you? Besides, I hear the next few witnesses are going to tie Hauptmann in with the kidnapping.
Yeah? Well, I hope things start getting exciting soon. That floor I'm sleeping on is getting pretty hard. You can bet Walter Winchell and those other celebrities are getting decent beds.
Well, I wouldn't want to be on that plane that's flying in and out of here with the press pictures. If the state road department misses plowing some snow off a soft spot, goodbye Charlie to those guys. Of course, I hope it's my pictures they find when they dig them out.
So who's on tap for today?
Let's see, it's that wood expert, a guy named Arthur Colt.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give the court and jury in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your full name.
Arthur Kohler.
Please be seated.
Mr. Kohler, would you please tell us where you live and what your business is?
I live in Madison, Wisconsin, and I'm employed there by the United States Forest Products Laboratory.
Do you mean that you are employed by the United States government?
I am.
And what does the Forest Products Laboratory work consist of?
The work of the Forest Products Laboratory consists of making tests and investigations on wood.
Tell us whether or not you are the wood expert for the United States government.
I am the expert on identification of wood for the government.
Are you in charge of the department?
Yes.
With offices in Madison, Wisconsin. Now, in that connection, for how many years have you done this work?
Oh, 21 years.
All right, sir. Now, in the capacity in which you have been employed, would you tell us whether or not you came into this Lindbergh case at the request of the government and the state of New Jersey?
I did.
And in that connection, you have you not, inspected and examined this ladder, S211, on many occasions?
I have.
Now, I'd like to call your attention first particularly to what has been referred to as Rail 16.
16.
Now, did you take off this Rail 16, a part of Exhibit S211, for the purpose of investigation in the attic of the Hauptmann home?
I did.
And when did you do that?
I made that investigation on October 9th, 1933, the first time.
Now, having taken off this section, Rail 16, what did you find?
I found that the 4 nail holes corresponded exactly to the nail holes in the joists in the attic. And also, the grain of the wood corresponded exactly to the grain of the wood of the board next to it. When I put these boards end to end...
Let me ask you before you get to that. You have also seen this exhibit, have you not?
I have.
And did you see that in the attic?
Yes.
Now, tell me whether or not there is any relationship, in your opinion, between Rail 16 and Exhibit S, what is the number, 226?
We reserve our rights to this extent and have the court pass upon the witness's qualifications as to whether the court feels he is qualified or not?
Yes. I would say to counsel now that the court deems this witness to be an expert.
Well, then, in order to protect the rights of the defendant, may we have an exception?
You may have an exception.
Do your duties also include the identification of wood in connection with crimes committed?
Yes.
All right, sir. Now let me ask you again, sir. I show you State's Exhibit S226, and I show you Rail 16 of State's Exhibit S211. And I ask you what, if any, is the relationship between that rail and that exhibit just referred to?
As a result of careful study of the two, I have come to the conclusion that these two pieces were at one time one piece. This board has been cut in two.
I noticed that this ladder rail is not quite as wide as this attic board. Could you explain that, if you could tell from an examination of the two?
On examining the ladder rail, I noticed that both edges had been planed with a hand plane. This hand plane was not in very good condition and left little ridges. Also, the ridges became wobbly over the ends, showing that both edges had been planed with a hand plane.
Thank you. I would like to show you another exhibit in this case, taken from Hauptmann's garage, S177. Now, can you tell whether or not this S177 is the plane that was used in planing that ladder rail?
It is.
Is there any question at all in your mind about it?
Not the least.
Why do you say that? Could you explain, please?
Because on the ladder rail there are a number of ridges. Now, when I plane a piece of wood with this plane, it leaves similar ridges of the same exact size and same exact spacing as is found on the ladder rail.
Would any other plane, in your opinion, make those same ridges and marks?
No, that would be out of the question.
Thank you, sir.
Boy, I sure wish they'd bring Jeffsy back. At least he was fun to watch. All these experts and eyewitnesses since then have been pretty boring. I don't see how the jury can stand it.
Are you kidding? They've been getting an earful every time they go across to the hotel. Everybody's got an opinion, and that jury hears it all while they're eating behind that screen in the dining room.
I don't see how they can sleep with all the people yelling at them from the streets.
Yeah. Oh, say, did you get a look at the secretary Riley brought with him today? This one's even more of a knockout than the first few. And that's quite a clothing allowance she must get from her rich law firm. All I get to wear? Is this press pass?
But you wear it with real style. Speaking of that, do you think the jury is buying Riley's big city style?
No, I think they like their hometown lawyer, Fisher a lot more. Riley's a little too smooth for these country folks. And they couldn't help but notice Fisher storm out of the courtroom when Riley admitted that the corpse they found was, in fact, the Lindbergh baby.
Yeah, everybody heard him say that Riley is succeeding Hauptmann to the electric chair. I bet that made an impression on the jury.
Well, at least that was exciting while it lasted. I'm getting pretty tired of listening to all these witnesses. Here it is 15 days into this circus, and Willentz is still going strong.
All this expert testimony on the ransom money and the handwriting seems pretty solid, but sure is tough to listen to.
Yeah. Oh, say, you had any chance to meet some of those hot shots who've been showing up around here?
Sure did. Talked to a couple over at the hotel. That Damon Runyon is some character. And I met Lil Thomas.
Oh. I met Edna Ferber. She is some classy lady. And Clifton Webb and Clark Gable.
Whoa.
Looks like we could turn Flemington into the new Hollywood with all these celebs.
Oh, hey, look what I got. Picked it up outside for 10 cents. Ought to make a great souvenir for my sister's kids.
Pretty soon they'll be selling popcorn and candy out there. Well, we're almost halfway through this. I will be glad to get back to a real bed when it's all over.
Well, now maybe this will wake you up. I hear they're bringing in some guy who can identify Hauptmann as being in Hopewell the day of the kidnapping.
Yeah, we'll see.
If Your Honor, please, the state would like to call Amandus Huckmuth to the stand.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give the court and jury in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your full name.
Amandus Huckmuth.
Please be seated.
Mr. Huckmuth, how old are you, sir?
I am in my 87th year.
87?
Yes.
And how long have you been a resident of Hunterdon County?
Oh, about 10 years. About 10 years off and on, summer times. I generally go to New York.
On the first day of March, 1932, where were you residing?
I was standing on my porch.
Where were you living then?
On the corner of what they call the Mercer County Highway and the road that leads up to Mr. Lindbergh's place.
In other words, that's the main highway intersection with the lane that runs up to the Lindbergh place.
Exactly.
Yes. And is that where you were living?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And were you outside that day?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Did you see a car coming along?
Yes. I saw a car come around the corner. Pretty good speed. And I expected it to turn over on the ditch. And as the car was 25, I should judge 25 feet from me, the man in there looked out of the window like this.
Out of the window of the car, you mean?
Yes, and he glared at me as if he saw a ghost.
Mm-hmm. And what time of the day was that?
It was in the forenoon.
And the man that you saw looking at that automobile, glaring at you in the manner in which you speak, is he in this room?
Yes.
Where is he?
Alongside the trooper there.
Alongside the trooper there?
Yes.
Well, at any rate, would you mind stepping down and showing us, please? would you mind putting your hand on his shoulder, please?
Right here.
May we have on the record indicating Bruno Richard Hauptmann.
I will have order in the court. I've just been informed that one of the jurors wishes to retire for a moment. I think we should all take a recess of about 15 minutes. The jurors and the spectators may retire.
And so, ladies and gentlemen of the radio audience, at 20 minutes past noon on this Thursday, January 24th, the 17th day of the trial of the century, the state rested its case against Bruno Richard Hauptmann. Following a recess for lunch, the defense began its presentation with some motions for dismissal, which were denied by Judge Trenchard. The defense's opening statement was given by Flemington's own Lloyd C. Fisher. Following his impassioned plea, Mr. Riley called Mrs. Hauptmann to the stand. As the beleaguered wife of the defendant approached the witness stand, Mrs. Hauptmann tried to put on a brave face for the hundreds of people who wonder what she knew about the activities of her husband, Bruno Richard Hauptmann.
If Your Honor, please, the defense wishes to call Mrs. Anna Hauptmann to the stand.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give the court and jury in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your full name.
Anna Hauptmann.
Please be seated.
Mrs. Hauptmann, I'm going to ask you to speak just as loudly as you can because we all want to hear you, and you will have to overcome some of the noise in the courtroom if possible. You are the wife of the defendant, is that correct?
Yes, I am.
And when did you come to America?
I landed the 1st of January 1924.
In New York?
In New York, yes.
And how soon after that did you go to work?
10 days after. I started the 10th of January.
Now, when you worked in Friedrichson's, did Mrs. Friedrichson have any particular day or night that she had to herself?
Yes.
And what night was that?
Tuesday and Friday.
And was that a regular custom?
Yes, from the first day I came there.
Now, what were your hours in Friedrichson's on Mondays?
From 7 to 5.
And what were your hours on Tuesdays?
From 7 to 8.
Now, Tuesday, March the 1st, 1932 was a Tuesday?
Yes.
And on March the 1st, 1932, you were working for Friedrichson's, weren't you?
I was.
And were you the only waitress there in March of 1932?
Yes, the only girl working there.
Now, on March the 1st, 1932, did your husband call for you that night?
He did.
About what time?
Well, maybe it was 7 o'clock, maybe quarter after 7, maybe quarter before 7. I don't remember exactly the minutes.
And how long did he remain there before you and he left to go home?
He was there until we went home together.
Yes, about what time, if you recall?
About 9:30, quarter to 10.
And you went right home, did you?
We did.
And was that your custom to go home?
Oh, yes.
And after you arrived home, did you remain there?
Yes.
Now, when Mrs. Hauptmann did you first see and meet Isidore Fish?
Then I meet him?
Yes, ma'am.
I meet him after I came back from Germany in
The first time or the second trip?
the second trip in 1932.
And where did you meet him?
I think I meet him in Henkel's house.
And did you afterwards learn that your husband and Fish were in business?
Oh, yes.
And did Fish come to your house?
Yes, quite often.
Now, when did you first hear that Colonel Lindbergh's baby had been kidnapped?
I read it on a Wednesday morning. It was a Wednesday morning. A customer showed me a paper over the counter.
Now, Mrs. Hauptmann, do you remember a little gathering or party, a farewell party given to Fish at your home?
Yes, I do.
And about how long before he sailed was that party given?
This was the Saturday night, the Saturday before he left, about 4 days before he left for Germany.
And did you see him bring any packages or bundles or anything with him?
I wasn't there when he came up the stairs.
Were you in the apartment when he came up the stairs?
I was in the apartment.
You were in some other room, is that it?
Yes, in the baby's room I was.
Now, after he left that night, did you see any strange pieces of baggage laying around the house that were left by him?
I didn't see anything.
Well, when did you see, if you ever did, the suitcases that Fish had left some clothing and underwear in?
He brought some suitcases maybe a week before he left.
But if he had anything at the party, you did not see him bring it, did you?
No.
Now, do you know anything about a box, a shoe box, a cardboard box that was on the top shelf of the broom closet?
No, I never used that shelf.
Now, I want you to tell the jury what you observed about that closet in connection with any water that may have been in there at any time, and where, in your opinion, that water came from.
This closet?
Yes, please.
In this closet, there were 3 shelves on the right side. On the top shelf, I believe I put up some few bundles of shelf trimming, but I didn't use in that house. The water came through the closet, through the ceiling, and many times the shelves were wet, and even down on the floor. I had to put a pot, and sometimes when we had very heavy rain, there was water in it about that deep in the morning.
You trusted your husband and he trusted you, is that correct?
Sure.
I move the part about the husband trusting her be stricken. That's the part I object to.
All right. You trusted your husband, didn't you?
Who shouldn't trust a husband?
I don't know. That speaks well for some of us. Witness is yours, General.
When the police came, they took you down while they were searching the garage, didn't they?
Yes.
Yeah. And you were there when they found the money, weren't you?
I was.
Mm-hmm. You didn't see any box or papers of Mr. Fish's then, did you?
In the garage, you mean?
Yes.
I don't know what was laying around there.
Yes, I suppose you were quite excited anyway.
I was.
Yeah, and you didn't expect them to find any money there, did you?
I didn't know why they took me down to the garage.
You didn't know that... You didn't expect them to find any money there, did you?
No, I didn't.
I see. Mr. Fish did leave with your husband whatever books and papers there were that you saw when you found out about his death, didn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
No papers, only books.
Books?
Just books.
Now this broom closet that we talked about, well, the height of it. Now, that was the closet in which you kept. It was in the kitchen, wasn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And it was a closet to which you went to every day, isn't that right?
Yes.
Yes. Every day you went to that broom closet and you never saw a shoebox on the top shelf, did you?
I don't know what was on the top shelf.
You never saw a shoebox there, madam, did you?
I didn't. No.
No. From November 1933 or December 1933, the months and the day that Mr. Fish was last at your home, until September 1934, you never saw a strange shoebox on the top shelf of that closet, did you?
I never had anything to do with the top shelf. I didn't use it for myself.
Now, you remember, of course, Mrs. Hauptmann, that you were a witness in the Bronx in these proceedings, in which your husband opposed his return to New Jersey. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
Page 50, about the third or fourth question. I want to read you a question as it was directed to you in the Bronx, and your answer as it is here. I will read some questions before it so that you'll get the gist of it. Right at the top. Question. Now, when your husband was arrested recently, Inspector Bruckman spoke to you about this case, did he not? Answer. Somebody spoke to me. Do you remember that question and answer?
Yes, I think I remember that.
Well, then we get down to this question. Question. And did not you tell Inspector Bruckman and others who were there present at the time that you had no recollection at all of what had happened on March the 1st, and that it was too far back, and that you don't know whether your husband was with you or not? Answer: I did tell him that. Now, did you tell Inspector Bruckman that? Did you so testify in the Bronx?
I was asked. Someone asked me if I remember that night of the kidnapping, and I said I do.
Yes, ma'am.
And then someone asked me about the 1st of March, and I said I didn't know if this was the 1st of March. I couldn't remember that. And I said it was too far back. I didn't know if this was the 1st of March.
Certainly.
I didn't know this was the day.
You didn't know at the time that March the 1st was the night of the kidnapping. Is that what you mean?
I didn't know it was the 1st of March.
Yeah, and so when they asked you about March 1st, you said, quote, "That's too far back. I can't remember whether my husband was with me or not."
When they asked me about the 1st of March, I believe I said that.
Yes, ma'am, and in the Bronx County Courthouse, you were asked that question, and of course, you answered it that way, didn't you?
I think I did.
Mrs. Hauptmann, just one more question about the 1st of March. When Inspector Bruckman was speaking to you, your husband was already arrested, isn't that right?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, and you knew, of course, that it was about the Lindbergh kidnapping case at that time, didn't you?
I didn't know why he was arrested.
Well, when Inspector Bruckman talked to you, he talked to you about the kidnapping and about the Lindbergh case, and he told you it was March 1st, 1932, didn't he?
No, he didn't tell me.
Now, you were down in that garage while the police were tearing it apart, you remember?
No, I wasn't there.
Oh, weren't you there when they found the money?
I was there when they called me down.
Well, there was some money found on the side. Couple of $1,000. And then this money in the can. And then this board with the holes in it. Were you there when they found this board with the holes in it?
No.
You were not. You didn't know, did you, Mrs. Hauptmann, that your husband had put money in this can and hid it in the garage, did you?
I didn't know.
No, you didn't know that he had taken pieces of wood and nailed it into the side of the garage to hide money, did you?
I didn't know anything about that.
Well, whatever he did in that garage with reference to taking those pieces of board, putting money in them, and hiding them, that was done without your knowledge, wasn't it, Mrs. Hauptmann?
I didn't know anything about
Yeah,
that.
you didn't know a thing about it. You don't know when he did it either, do you, Mrs. Hauptmann?
No, I do not.
Yeah, when that money was found. That was a surprise to you, wasn't it, Mrs. Hauptmann?
It was.
Yes, that's all. Thank you, Mrs. Hauptmann.
Mr. Riley, do you wish to redirect this witness?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. Your husband was arrested the latter part of September, is that correct?
Yes.
Last year?
Yes.
And almost immediately after that, a great many police officers came and asked you questions, didn't they?
Yes.
And it was the 15th of October, was it not, that the hearing was held in the Bronx court?
I cannot remember when it was. I believe it was that time.
Well, now, after Mr. Wilentz asked you the question he's read from the record, page 50, were you then asked this question? Now, did you find out later, after you had talked with Inspector Bruckman, that the 1st of March was a Tuesday? Did you find that out later? And did you answer, yes, I was anxious to find it out. Is that correct?
Yes, that's right.
And then you were asked, and then did that bring back any recollection of March the 1st, 1932 to you? And did you answer, yes, that is why I remembered so well then. So when they told you that Tuesday, March the 1st was a Tuesday, then you remembered, didn't you?
Yes, then I knew.
Your hours and that Richard had called for you.
Then I remembered, yes.
And there isn't any doubt that on Tuesday, March the 1st, your husband was with you between the hours that you have indicated here. Is that correct?
Absolutely not.
He was with you, wasn't he?
I know he was with me.
That is all.
From time to time during the trial, I have had occasion to warn the people to be quiet in the courtroom to avoid all confusion. Now, I wish to repeat that I want that order obeyed. It must be obeyed. And the officers will circulate amongst, take their places in the corridors to see that it is obeyed. Now, Mr. Riley, you may proceed.
If Your Honor, please, Mr. Riley is going to call the defendant. We have agreed, and we want the jury to know that it is by agreement of counsel that a sheriff's guard will be in back of the witness.
Not a uniformed officer, the sheriff's guard.
I want it to appear that it is by agreement of counsel.
We do not want the court to be disturbed. It is only for that reason.
Very well. Proceed.
Bruno Richard Hauptmann, take the stand.
Do you solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give the court and jury in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Please state your full name.
Richard Bruno Hauptmann.
Please be seated.
You are the defendant in this action, is that correct?
It is
Where and when were you born?
26th of November, 1899, Germany,
What part?
Saxony.
And did you go to school in Germany?
Yes,
For how many years?
for 8 years public school, 2 to 3 years like a trading school,
And what trade did you study?
carpenter trade.
And at what age did you begin to work?
14
And where did you work?
in my hometown, Commons.
And did you continue to work as a carpenter until the war broke out?
Yes,
And how old were you when you went to war?
17 and a half years.
And how many years did you serve in the Army?
1 3/4.
And during your service, were you wounded?
Slightly wounded, gassed.
You were gassed.
Yes.
Now, when did you come out of the Army?
That was around Christmas time, 18.
1918?
Yes.
And were you able to get any work at that time?
No,
Germany was in a very poor condition, wasn't it?
it was.
Now, during the period of Reconstruction in Germany around 1919, 1920, you were convicted of some offense then, weren't you?
I was.
And when was that?
That was springtime, 1919.
And as a result of that, did you serve any sentence?
Yes,
And you were admitted to parole on March the 30th, 1923.
yes.
Now, when did you first attempt to enter the United States?
That was summertime, 1923.
You boarded a steamer, did you not, as a stowaway?
Yes,
Came to America and you were discovered aboard ship.
yes.
And when was the second time you attempted to enter the United States?
I suppose that was in August that same year.
And you were caught again that year?
Yes,
And when was the third time?
that was in November the same year.
And were you successful that year?
Yes,
And you entered the United States?
yes.
And after entering the United States, did you obtain any employment?
Oh, yes.
About when and where?
It was about approximate 1 week lending.
Now, when did you first meet the lady who afterwards became your wife?
1924. 1924.
1924.
Yes.
And when did you and Anna Scheffler marry?
10th of October, 1925.
Now, do you remember around 1928, 1929 that you worked some Saturdays and Sundays for some friend of yours?
Oh, yes. We built 3 houses after working time. That means after the usual working hours, Saturday afternoons, and Sundays.
And how much did you make of this job of working in your odd hours on weekends, this job of building 3 houses?
It was approximately $1,000.
And how much of that did you save?
Some of that money I take to the bank, and some of that money I keep in the house.
Did you keep some of the money in the house?
Yes, always. That is a habit I have.
Well, in 1929, do you remember about how much you had in the house?
In 1929, I would say 3,000.
3,000.
3,000, 3,500.
In cash?
In cash.
And that was money that you made as a carpenter?
Yes.
And saved?
Yes.
Well, now, how much did Anna make a week?
She makes $20 to $25 a week, I guess, and about $5 to $8 tips.
So about $30, $33 a week?
Yes.
And did she save most of it?
Well, we keep our household with the money from my wife.
The running expenses?
The running expenses.
The running
yes.
expenses came from the money that Anna made.
That is it. I used to save my wages.
Now, in 1929, including a mortgage of $3,750, how much do you say that you were worth in cash and bank accounts?
You mean on the end of 29?
Yes, the end of 29.
But that includes the mortgage, the money in the bank, my money I keep in the house, so I would say $9,000.
Now, what year did you enter the Wall Street market?
The end of 29.
And you bought and sold stocks right up until the time of your arrest?
Yes.
Now, when did you first meet Isidore Fish?
I suppose the early part of March, early part of April, 32.
And after meeting Isidore Fish, how soon after that did he suggest, or did you suggest, that he participate in the market deal?
That was in May
1932. And did Fish give you money to buy stock?
Oh, yes.
Well, when was the first transaction you recall of Fish giving you money?
That was in August that year.
32?
Yes.
And did Fish visit your home?
Oh, yes.
Now, what business was Fish in?
Fur trading.
And did you afterwards become his partner?
Well, we keep it this way. He kept care of his line of business, and I kept care of the stock.
Well, what interest did you have in the fur business? What percentage of any?
I make it half and half.
And did you ever receive any money from the fur business?
Oh, yes.
Large sums?
Small sums and large sums.
What would you say that was the largest sum that you received for any 1 year for your interest in the fur business?
The largest sums, I would say, over $1,000.
Now, do you remember when Fish went to Europe?
Yes.
And when was that?
December 31.
December 1932?
33.
No, he never returned, did he?
No.
Now, when was the last time that he was at your house before he sailed for Europe?
The night before he sailed.
And who was at your house, as you recall it now?
Mr. Friedrichsen, my wife, and I.
And before he sailed, did he leave you anything to take care of while he was in Europe?
Well, he left 2 suitcases.
And what else?
400 skins, Hudson seal.
And what else?
And the little box.
Now, this little box you described, what kind of box was it? Was it paper, cardboard, or
Well,
wood?
I find it laid out, it was a shoebox.
Now, will you to describe to the jury, please, under what circumstances it was that he left his shoebox with you, or what he said and what you said?
Well, of Mr. Fish request, it was that he was throwing a party before he left for Germany. It was at his request at our house. And we invited a couple of friends, and around 9 o'clock, or a short while before 9 o'clock, Fish came out and got a little bundle under his arm. I answered the doorbell. My wife was in the baby's room. He came out and we went in the kitchen and he said, I leave it something if you don't mind. Keep care of it and put it in a tight place. I didn't ask what was in it, he only said there was paper in it. I thought maybe
Tell us what you did.
I put it in the broom closet.
And where was the broom closet in your apartment?
The broom closet was in the kitchen.
And how long did that box remain there until you disturbed it?
Middle of August, 34.
34?
Yes.
And what caused you to disturb it?
I was looking for a broom. And when I took the broom, I must hit the box with the broom handle. That day I look up, I see that it is money. I damaged the box.
And you saw money?
Yes.
In the box?
Yes.
Well, had there been any wet or moisture or anything in that closet?
All soaking wet.
And did you take the box down, the paper box down, and then you disturbed it?
I took it down to the boiler and put it out in the garage.
And what money did you see in that box?
Only gold certificates.
About how much?
Well, I didn't count it from the beginning.
And is that the money that you afterwards started to spend?
That is the money.
And is that the money that was found in your garage?
It is.
And was Fish dead at that time?
He was.
I am pointing now to State's Exhibit 1, which shows the estate of Colonel Lindbergh in Hopewell, New Jersey, on March the 1st, 1932. Hauptmann, were you ever in Hopewell in your life?
I was not.
On the night of March the 1st, 1932, were you on the grounds of Colonel Lindbergh in Hopewell, New Jersey?
I was not.
On the night of March the 1st, 1932, did you enter the nursery of Colonel Lindbergh
I did not.
and take from that nursery Charles Lindbergh, Jr.?
I did not.
On the night of March the 1st, 1932, did you leave on the window seat of Colonel Lindbergh's nursery a note?
And I wasn't in at all.
You never saw baby Lindbergh in your life, did you?
Never saw it.
Now, when you were taken to the New York City police station, were you beaten by...
I object to that! No, just a minute, I object to that. It's not being material in this case.
I will connect it. I will connect
Well,
it.
now, wait just a minute. There is no confession.
Or any statement in this case, if Your Honor please. And the state of New Jersey does not want to be impeded
Or handicapped by any matters.
that do not concern this state.
I can connect it.
Yes, well, let him tell.
Were you beaten, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And when did it start?
Second night, I got arrested.
And where did it happen?
New York Police Station.
And after that, you were taken to the Bronx?
After that, they take me to the Bronx.
You were arrested on the street, weren't you?
Yes.
And they held you for some hours in your car?
Yes.
And they put handcuffs on your hands, didn't they?
Right away.
And then you were searched, weren't you?
Yes.
And in your wallet, what did they find?
$20 bill.
And then where did they take you?
They took me Gun Hill Road and White Plains Avenue.
And then did they take you back to your house?
Yes.
And then they searched your house?
Yes.
And then you were told it was Lindbergh money?
It was told me in the house. That is the first I learned of it. I got Lindbergh money in my possession.
Never knew it before?
Never know it.
Now, in the station on that first night, what did they make you do, if anything?
The first night, they required the request writing.
Now, in that writing, Did you spell the words of your own free will, or did they tell you how to spell the words?
Some of them words, they spell it to me.
Well, how do you spell not?
N-O-T.
And did they tell you to spell it N-O-T-E?
I remember very well. They put an E on it.
Well, how do you spell signature?
S-I-G-N-U-T-U-R-E.
And did they tell you to spell it S-I-N-G-N-A-T-U-R-E, sing nature?
They did.
So when they were dictating the spelling to you, that was not your own free will in spelling, was it?
It was not.
Now, as far as the spelling of these words that I've indicated here, and other words that are misspelled in these request writings of yours, was that your voluntary act or voluntary spelling, or was the act and spelling dictated to you by police and officials who wanted you to spell it that way?
It was because of dictation.
Now, some of these were written at night, weren't they?
Yes.
And they kept you on for how many hours?
I don't remember the exact time of the request writing. I know really well it was late. It was really nighttime, probably after 12 o'clock. I refused to write.
And what did they do to you?
They forced me. They say, you won't get any sleep. You've got to write.
Bruno, with the statement that you made in the Bronx, were you mindful and fearful of the treatment in New York that you received when you made the statement in the Bronx?
To explain this, when Mr. District Attorney Foley asked me, how did they treat me, the coppers in the Bronx? Only Bronx Jail and Bronx Courthouse, but that did not cover New York Police Station. I said the treatment in Bronx Jail and Courthouse, Mr. District Attorney Foley, was fair, but that only covers the Bronx. Treatment in New York was entirely different. It was just the opposite that failed. And I've had the effect from this treatment for 2 months. That is why I've lost over 30 pounds.
Well, we finally heard from the man of the hour himself. What do you think?
Well, he sounds sincere, but do you believe him?
Well, that's for the jury to decide, I guess.
You know what Jack Benny said about him over at the hotel?
No, what?
What Bruno needs is a second act.
Well, this is his chance to get one. Here comes Walentz now. This ought to be wild.
Mr. Defendant, you came into this country when you came here illegally, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And you have been in the United States of America since 1923, haven't you?
Yes.
Now, you've enjoyed the privileges and opportunities of earning a livelihood?
Yes.
You've received police protection during those years?
Not quite. Not quite.
But not quite?
No, sure.
Yeah, well, you married in this country.
Yes.
Yeah, you saved money.
Yes.
You bought stops.
Yes.
The state of New York and the state of New Jersey and the United States of America have been working on your cases, you know. You do know that, don't you?
I suppose so.
Yes. You have had an opportunity in this court today. And you still have the opportunity this very minute to tell the truth. Now, have you told the truth?
I told the truth already.
All right, so that you stand now on the story that you have given today.
I do.
And you stand on the story that you gave in the Bronx, in the courthouse.
To a certain extent.
Well, I'm talking about the story that you swore to before a court in the Bronx. Now, do you stand on that?
To a certain extent, yes.
And to a certain extent, no?
To a certain extent, no.
And the statements that you made to District Attorney Foley where you say you were treated properly. Now, do you stand on those statements?
I was properly treated in the Bronx.
You say that you told the truth today.
I told the truth to Mr. District Attorney Foley about the treatment in the Bronx. That is correct.
About this case, not about the treatment, about the Lindbergh case, the murder. Did you tell the truth about that?
To a certain extent, yes.
Oh, and to a certain extent, you didn't tell him the truth, is that it? There's no question in your mind, but that the story you told today is the truth, is there?
There is no question.
Yeah, today and yesterday.
Today and yesterday.
Now, Mr. Wiley talked about the time that you were convicted in Germany. You told him yes, and that you were paroled?
Yes.
Yeah, and when you got out as a result of that conviction and as a result of that parole, what did you do to follow a livelihood? as a means of livelihood?
I was trying to sell some goods. Later I found out it was stolen.
Oh, you were trying to sell some goods, which later were found to have been stolen, is that it?
Yes.
Yeah, and what happened? Did you go back to jail?
I got arrested.
Yeah, and went back to jail again, is that right?
It was like a police station. I tried to jail.
All right. How long did you stay there?
I stayed only a couple days.
But what happened?
They was working in the gardens, in the yards, and I went out. The door was open and everything.
And being in jail, you ran away from jail. You escaped from jail, isn't that right?
Yes.
So you mean then that you were only convicted of one crime, is that right?
That is correct.
Yeah, only convicted once.
Convicted once.
Only once.
Only once.
Is it not the fact that you were convicted of breaking and entering into a home through a window in Reykjavik on the night of March the 14th and 15th, 1919? Isn't that one charge you were convicted of?
It was a charge.
Oh, isn't it a fact you were also convicted of breaking and entering into the mayor's home on the night of March the 15th and 16th, 1919?
It is about right. I can't remember the details.
Yeah, breaking in through a window. You went in through a window, didn't you?
I was present. I don't remember I went to the window.
Oh, you don't remember that?
No.
Oh, isn't it a fact that you were convicted, you and another man were convicted, of holding up two women with a gun?
It is.
Wheeling baby carriages?
Everybody wheels baby carriages.
Oh, everybody wheels baby carriages. And you and this man with a gun held up these two women wheeling baby carriages, didn't you? Now I want to show you a little book. Ask you if it's yours. Now, is that your handwriting? Take your time about it. Look at it.
Yes, that's my handwriting.
That is your handwriting.
Yes.
All right, now, take a look at this word particularly to tell me. Is that your handwriting, that one word there?
It looks like my handwriting, but I can't remember if I put it in.
Well, don't mix it up now. Would you just stay with that word there for a minute? Now, do you see that word?
Yes.
Yeah, well, now that is your word then, isn't it?
I can't remember if I put it in.
Well, now this isn't a joke. You know either that this is your handwriting or that this isn't. Now, is it your handwriting?
It looks like my handwriting.
It looks like your handwriting.
Yes.
Let me ask you, how do you spell boat?
B-O-A-T.
All right, now why did you spell boat? B-O-A-D.
You wouldn't mind to tell me how old this book is?
I don't know how old this book is. You know, I don't know.
Let me see it.
Now, why did you spell boat? B-O-A-D.
Well, this book is probably 8 years old.
Yeah, why did you spell it B-O-A-D?
Well, after you make improvements in your writing.
Yeah, all right, so that at one time you used to spell boat. B-O-A-D?
Yes, probably 8 to 10 years ago. And I am not quite sure I put it in.
The reason that you don't say yes or no is because you know you wrote boat when you got that $50,000 from college.
No, sir.
Oh, Boat Nelly, look at it.
No.
When's the last time you did carpenter work?
Last time?
Yes.
4 to 6 weeks before I got arrested.
But you didn't do any work regularly as a carpenter since April of 1932, did you?
No.
Yeah, you have been a stock market trader, haven't you? That has been your business.
Trading in stock, trading in furs, and through some mortgages coming in.
Well, you were partners in the fur business, but you didn't buy and sell furs.
No.
Yeah, but your business really was trading in the stock market.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what you really did.
Yes.
Yeah, that's where you spent your days, isn't that a fact?
Yes.
And the only man that knows about any monies between you and Fish, well, so far as the stocks are concerned, is the man that is dead. Fish. Isn't that right?
I don't know. I suppose he told me he was keeping book.
He is the only man.
As far as I know.
Just between the two of you.
As far as I know, yes.
Yes. And he is dead.
Unfortunate.
He was your best friend,
I
wasn't he?
did not say best friend.
Oh, what, you don't
He
say
was
so?
a very good
Yeah,
friend.
did he help you kidnap this image child?
I never saw Mr. Lindbergh's
You
child.
never saw. Let me ask you, when you found $14,000 in gold, how did you feel? Did you laugh? Did you cry? Were you happy or were you sad?
I was excited.
You were excited?
Yes.
Did you say anything? Did you holler out, Anna, look what I found, or anything like that?
I did not.
Did you tell your wife?
No, I did not.
You didn't tell your wife?
I did not.
She gave you every dollar she had in the world, didn't she?
Yes, so did I.
Yes.
Except these $14,000.
You were partners, weren't you? Both of you, working hard.
Yes.
Yes, but when you found $14,000 in gold, well, no more partnership with a wife.
Absolutely not. Why should I make my wife excited about it?
Oh, I see. Well, now, let's see. So while you were keeping your books and you were cheating her with those books and accounts, wouldn't tell her about your monies, why did you keep her from knowing about that? Why did you hide that?
Should it be a pleasant surprise for her sometimes?
I see. You were keeping a surprise for her.
Yes, because my intention was to pay her a house, build her a house sometimes.
You knew that you were arrested in this Lindbergh kidnapping case, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, and you knew that that Lindbergh child had been dead. You knew that, didn't you?
Yes.
And you knew that somebody had collected that $50,000, or so they said, from Dr. Condon. You knew that, didn't you?
That is what I read in the paper.
Yeah, and you were asked about Dr. Condon's telephone number and home address. It was in your closet on a board. It was then right before you. Now, do you remember that?
Yes.
Yeah, did you tell the district attorney at that time the truth when he spoke to you about this board S204?
Well,
Well, you don't know whether you told him the truth. Why don't you answer the question, Mr. Defendant?
the first time they show me this piece of wood, they say it comes from my closet. Well, anybody can show you a piece of wood like that. You find it in any home. I didn't even think of it when I said.
You didn't think of it?
No.
Did you tell District Attorney Foley the truth when he spoke to you about this board S204? You might as well answer this question, because I'm going to stay here until you do.
The truth?
Mm-hmm.
I
Did
told
you tell him the truth?
I told him the truth, yes.
Yeah, did you tell the truth about this board in the Supreme Court of New York? Well, yes or no, did you tell the truth when you testified under oath in the Bronx County Courthouse about that board?
Then I say no.
Oh, you didn't tell the truth there.
No.
Did you say anything to the judge at the time about your physical condition that you couldn't answer, that you didn't want to answer?
I don't think to make any complaints.
Did you say anything to the judge at the time about wanting to have the hearing postponed?
I don't think so, no.
Well, your physical condition was good enough to deny that you were in New Jersey on March 1st, 1932,
That is one
wasn't
thing
it?
I am positively sure of.
Sure, your physical condition was good enough to deny that you murdered that
I
Lindbergh
never saw
child.
the Lindbergh
Oh,
child.
that's one thing you are sure of, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you never went out to the Lindbergh house,
I
did you?
did not.
Well, certainly
not.
You never went in and took the child
I
out of that
did
room.
not.
You didn't take the chisel in
I
the
never
bedroom.
was.
And you didn't take that
I
ladder in
even
the
didn't
house.
build that ladder.
Yeah, you didn't take that ladder in your attic either, did you?
No, sir.
And you didn't collect any $50,000 either, did you?
No.
Well, you got part of it, didn't you? Who got the rest of it?
That money. I don't know anything about it.
Oh, you don't know anything about it? But you wrote Dr. Condon's telephone number and home address on that board. And that's what we're back to now.
No, positively not.
Oh, positively not?
Positively not.
Oh, you think that this is funny, don't you?
No, absolutely
No,
not.
no, you're having a lot of fun with me, aren't you?
No.
Hey, you know, you're doing very well. You're smiling at me every 5 minutes.
No.
Yeah, you know, you think that you're a big shot, don't you?
No. Should I cry?
No, certainly you shouldn't, because you think that you're bigger than everybody else, don't you?
No, but I know I am innocent.
Yeah, you are the man that has the willpower, that's what you know, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, you know, you wouldn't tell if they murdered you, would you?
No.
No, willpower, that's everything with you, isn't it?
Not it is. I feel innocent, and I am innocent, and that gives me the power to stand up.
You're lying when you swear to God you will tell the truth. Telling lies
Stop
doesn't
that.
mean anything. Didn't you swear to untruths in the courthouse? Didn't you lie under oath time and time again?
I did not.
Oh, you did not?
No.
Oh, all right, sir, when you were arrested with Lindbergh ransom money, and you had a $20 bill, Lindbergh ransom money, did they ask you where you got it? Did they ask you where you got it?
They did.
Yeah, well, did you lie to them, or did you tell them the truth? Did you lie to didn't you tell the truth?
I said not the truth.
Yes, you lied.
Yes, I lied.
Lies about this Lindbergh ranch owning. Isn't that right?
Well, you lied to me, too.
Oh, yes, where and when?
Right in this courtroom here.
Oh, we will let the jury decide about that in this courtroom.
For the past 29 days, the world's attention has been focused on this little town of Flemington. The events that began on that fateful night of March 1st, 1932 are finally drawing to a close almost 3 years later. Hauptmann's arrest on September 19th, 1934 ended the greatest manhunt ever mounted in this country. And as we begin the 30th day of this trial, we look forward to the summations of Mr. Riley, Chief Defense Counsel, and Attorney General Willents. 157 witnesses have testified for both sides. The jury will soon be given the awesome task of deciding on the guilt or innocence of Bruno Richard Hauptmann.
May it please your honor, Mr. Attorney General, his staff, gentlemen of the defense, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I wish to give you a text from St. Matthew, judge not, lest ye be judged, and ask of you in the consideration in this case that you bring into your hearts and into your consciences the feeling that you are weighing that which you cannot give back if you take it away, life. The state of New Jersey here are relying on proving these facts, that this defendant alone planned this crime, alone, nobody else. If you find that it was a gang or 3 or 4 others, then the pattern is wrong. Having planned it, he came here alone, and alone he entered that house, and alone he committed a burglary. And while in the commission of this burglary or felony, this unfortunate child was killed, and killed instantly. Now that is what they said in their opening that they would prove. Now they would have you in one breath believe that this Hauptmann was a mastermind, that he planned this all himself. And then they would have you believe that he was the worst fool in the world, that he was dumb, he didn't know anything. He would wear gloves while building a ladder so as not to leave any fingerprints behind. But then he would sit an hour and a half talking to Condon with his face exposed. In one, the careful mastermind, and in the other, the perfect fool. The first thing that you have got to decide when you go into your jury room is this: how in God's name did Hauptmann in the Bronx know anything about the Lindbergh home? Colonel Lindbergh was stabbed in the back by the disloyalty of those who worked for him. And even though he courageously believes that there was no disloyalty in the servants' quarters, I tell you now that no one could get into that house without the information being supplied by those who worked there. And this is no fairy tale. I am talking now from the record. I am talking from the evidence in this case. And what is the evidence in this case? Well, the evidence is, sir, that for the first time in the history of Colonel Lindbergh's life that he ever stayed in that house on a Tuesday was this Tuesday night. Every other weekend was over on Sunday night or early Monday morning, and this is his own evidence. Now, who knew that the baby had a cold and that the baby had to stay in Hopewell on Monday? Not Hauptmann. Now, as the house was constituted that night, there was the butler, there was the butler's wife, there was Betty Gow, Colonel and Mrs. Lindbergh, and the baby. Nobody else. Now, a man cannot come up to a strange house with a ladder, put the ladder up against the side of the house, climb up the ladder, push open a shutter, and walk into a room that he has never been in before. But that is what they would have you believe. This is the scenario that they have written. But it doesn't ring true to common sense, the common sense view of things. And that is why they pick a jury not composed of judges and lawyers, for the common sense view. And this child is picked up, and they would have you believe that Hauptmann, this man who never saw the child and never knew the child, and the child didn't know him, with a dog downstairs. Now, you've got a strange man in a house and all the doors are open. Goes back with a 25 or 20-pound child in his arms, swings himself out the window and finds the top rung of the ladder. And then, as he's sitting on the window seat in the dark, holding on to the child, is able to turn with the child in his arms and feel his way down the sidewalk, still holding on to the child, and find the ladder so that he can come down the ladder? Remember the evidence of the officer who found the ladder, the picture in the mud, and the ladder some 50 or 75 feet away from the house, and not a footprint between the house and the ladder? Well, you cannot walk in mud without leaving footprints, and not a footprint between the house and the ladder. Well, I say that ladder was a plant, that ladder was never up against that house that night. It was well planned by disloyal people, so well planned. Now, what do you know about Red Johnson? What do I know about him? I don't know a thing about him, but I do know this. He was Betty Gow's pal. And they didn't raise a finger to bring back from Denmark the man that talked to Betty Gow while the colonel was having his dinner, Red Johnson. Who was hiding here? Who was hiding the truth? Why wasn't he brought back here? He entered this country illegally and was allowed to go home? Was there any effort made to bring him back here? No. Why? Now we come to the picture of what General Wilentz describes as the patriotic gentleman of the old school. Well, I don't share that opinion with you. I am trying to use common sense here, and I am asking you to use common sense. Condon stands behind something in this case that is unholy, and I will bear it out, I believe, through his testimony and through his actions. That cemetery at St. Raymond should have been surrounded by police. That man, as he wanted to grab $50,000, should have been pounced on immediately. But it was Condon, Red Johnson's friend, Condon the ad putter, who received a letter within 24 hours, that must have advised the colonel, I've got everything under control, don't worry, I'll get it. We don't need the police. And who saw Condon hand $50,000 over a rail or over a bush? Nobody. Nobody in God's world but Condon. Now there is $35,000 of this money still missing. Where is it? If it was in circulation, they would find it immediately, and the inference that I draw is this. That somewhere in a safe deposit box under an assumed name, that $35,000 that Isidore Fish had is resting. And that someday, when payment isn't made on that box long enough, years to come, that box will be opened by the authorities, and they will find the $35,000 of this missing money. Now, they would have you believe, the New York City police, not Colonel Schwarzkopf and your New Jersey police now, the New York police, past masters of fixing evidence on people, that a man who never had a telephone in his life would walk into a closet and crawl around in a dark closet, and over in the corner on a board write Dr. Condon's telephone number as it was 3 or 4 years ago before they made the change. Of all the crookedness in this case, of all the plants that were ever put into a case, I tell you now that that board in the closet is the worst example of police crookedness that I have seen in a great many years. Now, I believe that this man is absolutely innocent of murder. And I am sure in closing that Colonel Lindbergh would not expect you and does not expect you to do anything but your duty under the law and under the evidence. And may I say in passing that he has my profound respect, and I feel sorry for him in his deep grief. And I am sure that you will all agree with me that his lovely son is now within the gates of heaven.
Well, he's dramatic. You gotta have him again. But do you think the jury will buy the conspiracy?
Well, they might, but I don't think Riley's witnesses were all that convincing. I even heard Bruno ask Fisher, where are they getting these witnesses? They're killing me.
Let's see what Wilentz has to say.
May it please your honor, men and women of the jury, judge not lest ye be judged, my adversary says, but forgets the other biblical admonition, and he that killeth any man shall surely be killed, shall surely be put to death. For all of these months since October 1934, not during one moment has there been anything that has come to the surface or light that has indicated anything but the guilt of this defendant, Bruno Richard Hauptmann, and no one else. every avenue of evidence, every little thoroughfare that we have traveled along, everyone leads to the same door. Bruno Richard Hauptmann. What type of man would murder the child of Charles Lindbergh and Anne Morrow? Well, he wouldn't be an American. No American gangster and no American racketeer ever sank to the level of killing babies. An American gangster that did want to participate in a kidnapping, well, he wouldn't pick out Colonel Lindbergh. There are many wealthy people in the city of New York, much more wealthy than Colonel Lindbergh. And let me tell you, men and women, the state of New York and the state of New Jersey and the federal authorities have found that animal, an animal lower than the lowest form of the animal kingdom, public enemy number one of this world, Bruno Richard Hauptmann. We have found him, and he is here for your judgment. He wasn't interested in the child. Life meant nothing to him. That's the type of man that I was talking to you about before, public enemy number one of this world, and that is the type that you have to deal with. Now, men and women of the jury, don't be weak. Don't be weak. If he had got those sleeping garments from somebody else, he had the chance to tell it to you. If he had written those notes for somebody else, he had the chance to tell it. He hasn't told his lawyer a thing. He hasn't told this jury a thing. He didn't tell the judge of the Supreme Court a thing. He has got nothing to tell. Now, men and women, there are some cases in which a recommendation of mercy might do, but not this one. Not this one. Either that man is the filthiest and the vilest snake that's ever crept through this grass, or he is entitled to an acquittal. And if you believe as we do, you have got to convict him. Now, men and women, if you do come back with a recommendation of mercy, a wishy-washy decision, yes, well, that is your province. And I will not say one word about it. I will not say one word when I sit down here in this case, so far as this jury and its verdict is concerned. But it seems to me that you have, and you will have the courage, if you were convinced, as all of us were, the federal authorities, the Bronx people that were here, the New Jersey State Police that were here, the lawyers that were here, Colonel Charles Lindbergh who was here, everyone who has testified. If you believe with us, you have got to find him guilty of murder in the first degree.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the prisoner before the bar, Bruno Richard Hauptmann, stands charged in this indictment with the murder of Charles A. Lindbergh, Jr. in the township of East Amwell in this county on the first day of March 1932. It now becomes your duty to render a decision upon the question of his guilt or innocence, and upon the degree of guilt, if guilty. The crime of murder is not one which is always committed in the presence of witnesses, and where not so committed must be proved by circumstantial evidence, or not at all. If the state has not convinced you beyond a reasonable doubt that the death of the child was caused by an act of the defendant, then he must be acquitted. But if, on the other hand, the state has convinced you beyond a reasonable doubt that the death of the child was caused by the criminal and unlawful act of the defendant, then it is murder. And if murder, the degree of murder must be established. If you find the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree, you may, if you see fit, by your verdict and as part thereof, recommend imprisonment at hard labor for life. But if you should find the defendant guilty of murder in the first degree and nothing else, the punishment to be inflicted upon that verdict would be death. The clerk will now swear the constables to safely keep these jurors until they have agreed upon their verdict.
Come by if there's any hint. I don't show anything.
Jury retired at 11:23 a.m. to deliberate over the fate of Bruno Richard Hauptmann. This trial, which according to Governor Hauptmann of New Jersey cost the state over $250,000 to prosecute, now rests in the hands of these simple, honest residents of Hunterdon County. The world awaits with bated breath the ringing of the courthouse bells, which will announce that the jury has reached its verdict. Okay, Billy, get this out to the wires right now and ask those Associated Press guys if they've got the right codes for sending out the verdict when it comes in. Now go. You know, I bet those AP guys mess up when the time comes. They've got 3 different signals to pass depending on which verdict they get. 5 will get you 10, they send out the wrong one.
No bet.
All right, now let me get this straight. The jury finds him guilty and wants him to get life, then they have to say that to the judge, right?
Right, but unless they specifically say life, then he gets the chair. Or they could find him innocent.
Think they'll be out a long time? It's already been 10 hours.
I don't know, they've been sitting in those chairs 32 days. I'm sure they're as anxious to get home as we are.
Oh, I wish them luck getting past the crowd outside. There must be 10,000 people out there, and you hear what they've been chanting? Kill Hauptmann, kill Hauptmann.
Verdict's in, here we go.
The jury will rise. Let the defendant stand. Members of the jury, have you agreed upon your verdict?
We have.
Mr. Foreman, what say you? Do you find the defendant guilty or not guilty?
Guilty. No! We find the defendant, Bruno Richard Hauptmann, guilty of murder in the first degree.
The jury may be seated, and the verdict will be recorded. It appears to the court that there is nothing remaining except to impose sentence as provided by statute. And I am asking now the Attorney General if he moves sentence.
If Your Honor please, the state moves for sentencing of the defendant at this time.
Bruno Richard Hauptmann, you have been convicted of murder in the first degree. It is the sentence of this court that you, the said Bruno Richard Hauptmann, suffered death at a time and a place and in a manner provided by law. The court will hand to the sheriff a warrant establishing the week of Monday, the 18th day of March, 1935, as the week during which the sentence must be executed. You are now remanded to the custody of the sheriff. You may retire.
April 3rd, 1936. Reporters have gathered in Trenton to write the epilogue for the trial of the century. After a long year of appeals of his verdict, Bruno Richard Hauptmann is about to be executed. News of his death is broadcast throughout the world.
Flag, United Press, Trenton, Hauptmann executed, 8:47 1/2. Hauptmann entered the death chamber at 8:40 and was pronounced dead 7.5 minutes later.